Welcome to Lady Audacity. I'm Alex.
And I'm Amanda.
And we have had a week, which has gotten like real fun in like the last couple days. You know, thanks, Kate. You really came through. But
at what cost?
At what cost? Yeah. And that we're definitely going to be talking about at what cost all of this is. But it's been a lot going on. And a lot of this week has honestly been about Miss Kate. Kate has not been seen up until yesterday in almost 2 months, right? Wait, where are we? December, January, February. Yeah, 2 months and like a week.
Yep.
No sightings of her whatsoever. And that came off to a fever pitch when the internet got a hold of this information. And I think, too, we once again saw that people just don't really trust the royals at the end of the day, especially when it comes to royal women. Probably not a good thing for the British royal family. If anyone was smart behind palace walls, they would realize these people do not trust us. That's probably an issue.
That's literally what it is. Like, nothing the palace is saying is sinking in, like, anywhere. And yeah, I would be concerned if I was them.
It's like, yes, you can get children of like, you know, kindergarten age and get the schools to bring them to your events for you to give you that excited crowd. But, you know, I'm just saying, outside of the oldies and children who have no other choice and want to go on a field trip, what are we doing?
But we will get into that for sure.
Yeah, we will get into that. But one of our bananas articles of the week comes from, of course, Rebecca English, because a little bit of a preview, because we will get into this a bit more. Kate was finally seen yesterday, which was March 4th, after 2 months of not being seen in a paparazzi picture.
Should we set the stage a little bit first? Because this is the first time we're recording since Twitter got a hold of the Kate Middleton news. And the news not being news is what's so funny about this story. Like, it must have been, not even a week ago at this point. It was Tuesday last week when William skipped that event. And then Twitter found out that Kate had not been seen for 2 months, which is very funny. Like, no one had picked up on it before outside of the royal watching circles.
What I noticed about this is really proves how much people pay attention to these announcements, that their announcements. You would have thought from the way that the Kate news was covered that people had, you know, read and comprehended the information that she wasn't going to be seen until Easter, and they weren't going to be giving updates. But it's really like people seriously just read the headline, oh, she got, you know, surgery, and moved on with their life, because it's like this information was available, and it's really not that shocking when you actually read their initial statement. But no one read that.
Well, and Prince William made headlines with the BAFTAs, and Kate was clearly not there. You would think like some of that would have sunk in, but I guess not.
No, I know, right? I'm like, this is kind of all very much available information. But again, I guess people read the headline.
Don't trust the
and
palace.
I think, like you said, they seem to have gone kind of freaked out when Prince William suddenly pulls out of the event. And this was his
godfather's memorial.
His godfather, who was like the previous king of Greece or something like that.
Yeah, the last king of Greece, the exiled king of Greece. Every time I talk about it, I have people saying, like, don't call him the king of Greece. They abolished the monarchy. It's like, well, what am I supposed to call him?
I don't know. That's what they tell us to call him, okay?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that seemed to really trigger a lot of interest, because all they gave for the reason was personal matters, which I think is the issue with this new policy they have when it comes to privacy, which, of course, all people deserve a degree of privacy, but you also have to give up little bits of privacy sometimes. And when you're royal and you are tax funded, you do have to give a little more than personal matter when you pull out of an event. I think only like 4 hours or 2 hours beforehand. Like, this was
45
very
minutes.
Last minute. Oh yeah, okay, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
very last minute, and your wife hasn't been seen. She's had surgery.
That's when people started to tune in. And then, of course, we got the news that Thomas Kingston tragically had passed away. That had happened 2 days previously. So people immediately started, they had been tuned in with William missing the event. Now we're starting to connect dots, and they're dots that should not be connected. And at this point, the palace did decide in a statement, not a statement, but answers to the press, to say this is not related to William missing the service, which
Yes.
people just latched onto again. And so now we start to see conspiracies happening where people are like, well, we didn't think he was linked to it, so why would they say that? And it's like, because they're the palace and they have to over explain while giving zero information. That's what they do. But people don't know them
Yeah.
like we do.
Well, exactly. And I think you, like you pointed out, is that they were a little late on making sure that the press knew it wasn't because of Kate, or that wasn't made
Mm-hmm.
clear enough, because people just got that he suddenly pulled out of this event for personal matters, and that was the story.
Yeah.
It's just, yes, it triggered a lot, but a lot of it, what triggered when it came to the viral sense, was Kate kind of got her own Trisha Paytas treatment when it came to news about her. And
Yeah.
well, the internet went a little crazy. And I actually feel like I have a
Yeah.
perfect tweet to sum up the 24 hours of where is Kate Middleton other than Gone Girl posters and
Oh my
so on,
God.
is this tweet that says, yeah, so basically Kate Middleton hasn't been seen in months. Like, she's actually missing. Word on the conspiracy street is that she's doing one of many things: gone for a BBL, growing out her bangs, lost at the Wonka experience. Also, she's possibly Banksy. So
Yeah.
that's, I think that sums up all the fun theories that people
Well,
were
those are the
rifling
fun
through.
theories. Yeah, those
Yes,
are the
those were the
fun
fun ones.
theories. There are also sinister theories, which is where I just decided to check out for like 2 days. I was like, I can't do this. Nope. But so that happened. That was my
Yeah,
life
I
for a
don't know.
couple
The
days.
funny thing is, I don't know if I've like just blocked too many people, but I didn't see a lot of the sinister ones.
Mhm.
But in the last 24 hours, I've gone on Twitter and suddenly I am seeing people like seriously, who seriously don't think that was her in the paparazzi
Oh,
photo.
yeah.
And
Yeah. So
it's like getting weird.
bananas.
It's getting really weird again.
It's getting weird again. Yeah. A couple days go by and the palace releases a statement, because it's a social media phenomenon, right? Like the Huffington Post
Yes.
wrote that op-ed piece that said the Kate Middleton conspiracy theories have to stop. It got viewed. I don't know how many times it was like replied to, but it had 11 million views. That's crazy
Mhm.
for a
Yeah.
royal news item on Twitter or X or whatever. And people were engaging with it and pointing out the double standard with how Meghan Markle was always like denied privacy, denied corrective statements from the palace, like, and
Yes.
the tone was very quickly
Yeah.
not having what the palace was trying to serve, like basically.
I feel like it's really interesting looking how the way US and UK media has handled this.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of so many various different, like I saw Forbes Media wrote about
Mm-hmm.
this. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone touched the story. And a lot of times it was mostly just debriefing on what the
Mm-hmm.
internet was talking about in terms of Kate Middleton. So it wasn't peddling these conspiracy theories as true, which I saw
Mm-hmm.
some, UK media outlets try to like act like
Yeah.
that. But on one end with the UK media outlets, a lot of them didn't talk about it. And if they did, I did see some criticism, which is the first time I've seen criticism towards Kate and William and how
Mm-hmm.
they've handled this. I think it was Good Morning Britain. Someone came on and pretty much said that conservative media have pretty much given them so much room and put them on such a high pedestal that they can do
Mm-hmm.
things like this. And it's to a point where you're not allowed to question it. And I think there was even a couple of Daily Mail articles that were like, what is going on in the House of Windsor? And
Yeah.
things like that. So a little bit different, but especially because I feel like the UK media didn't really touch the Twitter kind of craziness. And I can't help but think that's partially because they knew that Kensington Palace didn't find it entertaining, which I can
Mm-mm.
see for various reasons. Because
Right.
again, like some of the comparisons here are not great. So at one point we start getting like Scientology comparisons. In particular, the comparison to Shelley Miscavige, I think that's how you say her last name. She was the wife of the Scientologist president who hasn't been seen publicly since 2007. And there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
conspiracies around her that she may have been kidnapped or so on and so on. And I just feel like when you start seeing multiple tweets possibly comparing Kate to this woman, it should tell
Yeah.
you that people truly don't trust your institution and you have not gotten past the Diana and Meghan factors of it all. Because there's a lot of
Oh,
people who genuinely believe that the palace is behind Princess Diana's death, you know, and
Yes.
that I feel like is something that is remembered every time there's even just a tiny bit of chance something is going on weird with a royal woman.
Yeah, they 100% that's what was happening. Every time I tried to get on and explain the reasoning of why I thought like, hey, everything's actually fine and we can chill, there would just be someone like, I don't trust the palace. Look what they did to
Exactly.
Diana. And I was like, we don't have to go there. It's literally fine, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is enough to like cause the palace to make a statement, that
Yes.
they made it clear in January the timelines of the princess's recovery, and we would only be providing significant updates. That guidance stands. And this statement being distributed by like Twitter pop news updates accounts was so
Pop
funny.
Crave, Page Six. They were like
Yeah,
all the ones breaking it.
I think they made the statement to page 6, which is
Yes.
crazy.
And can we point out, just because we're going to talk about the paparazzi picture too, that Page
Yep.
Six is the American outlet that they broke this
Hmm.
to. They gave this
Well, and
official
the
comment to. I'm just saying, this was very much an American pop culture
yeah.
outlet.
Yeah. And the one one little detail that I found absolutely bananas was, you said you don't follow some of the crazy accounts on Twitter. I have a burner, so I do. But like the one thing that people latched onto is the Pop Crave tweet said Kate Middleton's team issues statement. And all of these royal like tuned in people were like, why does Kate Middleton have her own team? Why isn't it the palace? I'm like, it's probably just the person who runs the Pop Crave account being used to saying this person's team rather than Kensington Palace. Like, it's not
Exactly.
that
Like,
deep. It's not that
it's
deep.
not. They don't
But
trust anything right now.
yeah, but the statement was so clearly from the palace because they were so salty, so annoyed that they
Very.
even had to
Oh
address
my
this.
gosh. One of my favorite tweets that had like over 100K likes on it said, "Why are they taking that tone with us?" Because genuinely, I'm very much getting, we're not entertained. We're not laughing at the BBL memes like you guys are.
Right. Which,
My bad
I don't
for the 10
know. They keep
dollars.
saying they want to appeal to a younger audience. This was your chance.
Can you, one of my friends said, can you imagine if, like, for Kate's first appearance or something, or video, that she poked fun at some of these tweets are going viral? But if there's a young bone, like, in that group of team that was just a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more plugged in, they would have her
Mhm.
doing something like read celebs reading mean tweets about them, but
Yeah,
this
oh my
version,
gosh, that would
okay?
be
You
so
know,
funny.
you would be
So funny.
leaning into it, but instead we have a tone that's very much giving no. And this did make them do something, because they also started to leak. And
Mhm.
first, again, American media outlets were chosen for the leak. I think it says a lot about how much this picked up in America and how important it is for them to not let these rumors continue in America, because yes, we're a huge demographic for William and Kate in particular.
Yeah.
So, first there was one to People, and it says, it is sensible to take the time, a source close to the royal household told People. That is a great example to the rest of us, as you're often told to get back to work as soon as possible, which can be damaging. It is good for all of us to see her taking the time, recovering properly, and then coming back. Coming back. We can all learn from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even said
Mhm.
this on my story. They leaned a little too hard into the just like you stitch here. Like, that whole
Yeah.
gig a little too hard, because it's like, first off, man, people don't take time off because like
Because
they're
they're
obsessed with the
unsensible.
hustler mentality. Yeah, exactly. Like, they're like, oh my God, I
Like,
have to
hello?
work. I have to work. No, it's because they literally can't. They can
Can't.
afford to, okay? They don't have 2 months of paid leave, ma'am. And they don't
Right.
have a staff to take care of them. It's just like, that makes no like, stop talking to us like we're stupid.
Well, and this the implication is that Kate Middleton has unlocked the secret to health, and like she's the
Yeah,
example that we all need to follow, just like she's solved early childhood like issues. Like, no.
exactly.
No,
It's
that's
like,
not what's going on.
it's ignoring the initial kind of, not criticisms, but conversations that happened when this was first announced, which was that her and Charles had access immediately to the best type of healthcare, while there's people who are lining up in like 24-hour long lines to sign up for the NHS and try to get a surgery, you know? It's just
Yeah.
like, there's a huge difference here, and instead of being conscious of that, you're just telling us that you're so brave for taking 2 months off to heal. Like, ma'am, That's not something that should be brave. We don't want to be brave. Trust us, poor people. We don't want to be brave.
We're sick of unprecedented times. Like, we're sick of it.
Okay, exactly. Yeah. Give me the staff. Give me the nanny. I'll hire another one, okay? But it was the Daily Beast who got like the real tea, because it was Tom Sykes, as usual. You know, he's our fave because those friends, he just be chit-chatting to them over tea, okay? So he says, one friend asked about the media commentary suggesting that the palace should be more open. Such an assertion in the Daily Mail that by saying nothing, the royals invite speculation. The friend said, the newspapers are always telling the family how to run their press operations. This time, surprise, surprise, they seem to think it'd be a good idea for the royal family to give them more information about Kate. William isn't a big one for doing stuff because the Daily Mail says he should. When the Daily Beast pointed out that similar appeals are also being made not just across broadcast and print media, but on social media by ordinary people too, the friend said, if William has read any of this stuff, it will only make him more determined to stick to his guns and keep his wife out of the limelight while she recovers. The stuff people are writing is toxic. So,
welcome to our world, William.
I know the thing about saying that William won't do anything the Daily Beast or the Daily Mail would tell him to do, I think is just
laughable.
Yeah, very, very laughable. I think William wouldn't dare take advice from the Daily Mail when they're giving him advice on how to run his life, for sure. But like, he's never, ever listened to them when it came to how to play the game. Okay, sure. Yeah. And also, again, I think what bothers me here is like when you see people use word choices that purposely just kind of like detaches like from reality what people are actually talking about. People don't want Kate in the limelight and they don't expect that. People are just surprised there's no sign of life, any type of sign of life PR going on, which is traditional when it comes to royals. Okay, the queen was being rolled out to take 5 steps onto the balcony to show sign of life for maybe 30 seconds, then rolled back away. Not saying Kate needs to do that, of course. There's many ways to do a sign of life, you know, type of strategy. I think, for one, I saw someone point out like writing something on social media, like take some photos of the get well soon cards you've had and write a message signed C on it. It's a sign of life. And Kate wouldn't even have to write it. She can just have the social media intern write it and just
she's already done videos where it's literally just her very well manicured hand and the ring, and she's like writing a note. So she's already what you're suggesting is totally rational. And they are the ones changing the playbook here. It's not us demanding something that's never been done before. Absolutely.
And I won't let us be gaslit. Exactly. And what's strange about it is that the UK media is reacting the way they are, which is by listening. Because this brings in the H&M of it all. But even besides them, the UK media is not known for respecting people's privacy. It doesn't matter if it's a royal or just a celebrity or you're just, you know, your local Love Island reality star of the moment. They don't respect public figures' privacy. So for them to do that with Kate, who is not only young and beautiful, but by far the most popular photographed royal right now, is just shocking. It's genuinely shocking. And they're not like raising a fuss about it, which is even the biggest shocker of it all, is they're not raising a fuss about them putting down these boundaries and this privacy. Like, I was shocked we didn't get much pushback from like Richard Palmer, Rebecca English, and so on, when they just left it to personal matters. Because Rebecca English didn't even have a scoop. She just had what they gave everyone at the briefing.
Yeah, you could tell she was kind of annoyed about that too in the tone of her article on it. But yeah, people are very much like towing the line and acting like they've always done it this way. Today there was a video, I sent it to you, from Chris Ship at ITV, where he said, like, we have a policy of not posting paparazzi photos unless there's a strong public interest or something. And I was like, so it's a strong public interest when Meghan Markle gets in her car and drives around the block with a smile on her face? Like, that's of public interest?
Like and this isn't? You know, there's like some random royal drama. Like, you have a little bit all over the news saying her grandma wasn't happy that she named after her. So you just like have to post that paparazzi shot of Meghan in the car. I mean, madness.
How about it? So that's why I think the photo we got on Monday this week of Kate driving around Windsor with her mom in the car, I'm sure you've all seen it by now. It went to US outlets and the British papers did not publish it.
And it
Now
was
they know everyone's
backgrid.
seen it. It was
Yes.
backgrid. You want to talk
Which
about
is
that?
known, yes, backgrid is very well known American, what do you call it?
I don't even know what
Photography.
you would call it. Like they're
I'm like
they're not.
blanking on the word and I know it too. But yeah, it's American and it's well known as a place that celebs call to get their photo
Yeah,
taken.
you can call them,
And
but they also do send people out to just get
they do
pictures.
send people
So
out too. Yes.
it's it's not that.
They're just more well known for
Yeah, yeah,
celebs
yeah.
calling for them. Like if you're
Yes.
going to pick, because I'm not going to say who, but someone who is pretty big in the world commentary world, I found it interesting, admitted in a DM that Backgrid is the place known that public figures call to get their picture taken, but wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
say that on their story when they were covering this and making it seem that Kate was possibly just a victim of the paparazzi. So
Yeah,
I
of course.
find that really interesting, is that they didn't want to publicly admit to their followers that Kate could have called the paparazzi on herself. Not the
Fascinating.
palace, but maybe even her mama, because Kate Middleton, if you've been here since the beginning, you know that she had her two favorite paparazzis on speed dial back in the day when Kate was still the girlfriend. Like, she is not new to the game, okay? And she's not afraid to tell the palace, hold up, hold my wine, I've got this, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, Backgrid was a very interesting choice. TMZ broke it too.
And I think that lets the palace have the best of both worlds here. Whether it was organized by them that this picture was taken, whether it was Kate and Carol going rogue, it doesn't matter. The palace can still say it was unsanctioned, that this picture
Exactly.
got out in the public.
Oh,
And
yes.
that's what the Royal Rota is running with. It's unsanctioned. We're not publishing it. Literally, they could not be more clear in the implication being, palace, it's not us. We didn't do it. Please don't take away our press passes. Like, it's not
Oh,
us.
totally. Because yeah, William and Kate are still going to be the ones that are feeding them, and they know that. And the fact is that Kate's buildup to when she comes back is going to be big news.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just from the viral 24 hours where Kate was trending about where is Kate, it's all building up to when she steps out looking beautiful. It's going to be an oh my gosh moment. It's going to be plastered
Yeah.
everywhere because that mystery will be solved. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to want every little tiny tidbit that they can get
Yeah.
about the buildup to her coming back. So I don't think they're going to bite the hand that feeds them. And I don't think it's meant for the UK audience either.
No, it was absolutely meant for, I mean, us, basically, our demographic, the
Yeah,
cultural, like everyone who's digesting cultural news all day long on TikTok and Twitter. Like that's who
exactly.
the audience was.
That's why People, Daily Beast, Backgrid, Page
Yeah.
Six got all of these exclusive pretty much, is because this was for the American audience, the more wild theories that were going on. She's
Yeah.
alive, she's good, she's recovering.
Yeah. Which brings us finally to our bananas article.
Yes, we did a lot of we even went through a couple articles, but yes, so
So the most bananas article is a reaction to all of that, I would say.
yeah, exactly. March 4th, Rebecca English. Princess of Wales is seen for the first time since her abdominal surgery. Photos of Kate being driven home from the school run by Mother Carol are published in the US, and a new sign her recovery is progressing. And none of the photos are used, just photos of her in
Mm-hmm.
blue. One thing,
Mm-hmm.
too, I want to point out here, and I kind of am on the fence if I think Carol and Kate called these people up or if this happened randomly, because I mean, seeing Kate is a hot topic right now. So I can totally see an American photographer going over there and saying, I don't give a fuck about these people and their roles.
Mm-hmm.
This has a hot tag on it in the American market. Let me get the photo.
Yeah.
But this is also Kate's MO. So every time there's been a major moment in royal history as of recently, we're talking Spare, we're talking post Oprah, we're talking about the Queen's death, we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about just their move to Windsor. There's a
Yeah.
photo of Kate driving home from the kids' school drop off,
Mm-hmm.
looking pretty in the car, sign of life, inserting herself into the narrative without having to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw the photo of Kate driving in the car,
I
and they're
laughed out loud.
I laughed out loud, and they're saying that this photo was taken on the way back from the school drop
School
off. I
run.
was
Yep.
like, Okay, Kate said,
Okay.
okay, shut the fuck up. Be quiet. I came outside. You can see my beautiful face. Now be quiet. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
they did say, mind you, and this isn't even like a Rebecca English exclusive, which again, I am wondering how
No.
mad she's getting behind the scenes that she's getting zero exclusives, that she's just being treated like everyone else in the briefing, because she didn't get any exclusive on this. She just got, the regular what she was wearing in the car. She was coming back from the school drop off. She's with her mom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. I just wait. Oh, and that the fact that the palace is saying that they did not sanction the photo. That's all she
Yes.
got, which is what they seemed
Yep.
to release to anyone that was at whatever briefing that was happening. So
Mm-hmm.
again, the palace could have nothing to do with it, but someone like Kate Middleton could. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think of it like when Harry and Meghan told us that like they would not be saying anything to media unless it was officially coming through their like spokesperson. It's just like that's not going to happen, and that's not true. Everybody leaks. And it's like the
Mm-hmm.
same thing when it comes to the royals and saying they don't do paparazzi walks. That's a lie. Everyone does a paparazzi walk. The celebs
Yeah.
lie to us.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Meghan and Harry do it. It's fine.
Exactly. I'm like, everyone does this, and this is the best way to show sign of life without having to do anything.
Is it weird? I'm having like a little bit more respect for Kate through all of this. Like if she did plan this, I hope she owns it, and I hope like
Yes.
she's proud of herself, because I think it did what it needed to do. Of course, there were still people. It's only the people have doubled down since this picture came out, and the body double
Yes.
theories, people saying it's Pippa. I'm like, I'm so
Oh my gosh,
sick of
it looks nothing like her.
it looks nothing like her. I'm
That
like, you
looks
guys don't know
exactly
her like I
Kate
do.
Middleton. Someone was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't look like her. I'm like, that looks exactly like her. What are you talking about?
The thin lips, like, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, that looks exactly like her. She looks like I'm fucking done with it. That looks exactly like
Yeah,
Kate resting, I'm done with it face. Like, what are
literally.
you talking about? And like the thing is, really am happy that they have gotten the press in line that
Mm,
she can take this time off, and like that's what the end of it is. But it does, again, and this is what I said, I think this is part of the reason why it's been so hard for people to be convinced that like something more sinister isn't going on, or not more
yeah,
sinister, but to not make fun of this, or just to not notice it, not notice
yeah,
that she's been gone for 2 months, is because we also spent so long hearing about Meghan and Harry only like a couple years ago for 4 years straight, that if you are royal and you are tax funded, there's a certain degree of privacy that you should not
yeah,
expect, that you should expect to parade yourself around, show sign of life, and play the game. So we're
yeah.
not seeing that from a tax funded royal, and people are kind of like, wait,
Huh?
what's going on? Like
Well, and we were
that's
also
not, you told us it's not like that
well,
though.
and we were also told with Harry and Meghan not to expect the palace to be able to control the press. They're
Exactly.
clearly demonstrating that they can now, because Rebecca
Yes.
English, bananas article of the week, she's been reduced to quoting royalists on Twitter. Like, that's the only new information she had. And so I think this is so funny, just because it's all, what a treat to see her, wonderful to see her out and about getting some fresh air, hopefully hope she takes it easy, her health comes first and foremost. And it's just like, tell us how you really feel, Rebecca. Like,
Right? Yeah, exactly. And it's like, my thing too with that is like, it gets annoying because it's like, I don't think anyone's arguing saying that she doesn't deserve privacy though. You know what I mean?
no.
At least most rational people are not saying that. But what they are saying is, by holding the way they've acted about this, speculation is naturally what is going to
Yeah.
happen reaction. And it's puzzling that a PR team that is paid as much as they are and supposed to be savvy and
Hmm.
smart didn't think they were going to have to give a little bit more information.
Yeah.
And it's like, not
Yeah.
saying they needed to go down the traditional route, because I would argue not even Queen Elizabeth II got this type of respect around her health,
Mm-mm.
because people
Mm-mm.
were leaking. They were leaking about her health when she was
Yeah.
alive. After her death, they've gone crazy with the leaking about it. But she
Yeah.
had to show sign of life photos.
Yeah.
So it's like they're respecting her more than they respected the Queen's, privacy around her medical stuff, which
Well, I
I
have an
find.
example of that too, I found recently,
Mhm.
or I was reminded of recently. It was from 2021. The palace literally lied to try and get the public to not know that Queen Elizabeth had spent a night in the hospital, and they were caught lying about it, because she
Ooh.
had gone into the hospital for routine testing, and spent the night there. She was admitted. Nobody knows what it was for. It was probably for observation. But the palace was asked, like, did she get admitted to hospital because it got out somehow? And they said no, she's staying at Buckingham Palace. They kept flying the royal standard, even though she wasn't there.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and like when aides were asked about it, they told reporters that the queen was at the palace when she just wasn't. And eventually there were pictures of her, I think, coming back to the palace. But it came out like, no, she hadn't spent that night there. She was getting testing done and then needed
Oh,
to
wow.
be admitted. And then for 2 weeks after, we were told she had to rest and she wouldn't be doing any official duties, but we never got a reason. So this is why the trust is broken, right? They've been known to lie and cover things up. It sounds like now they're taking that opposite route of claiming privacy rather than get caught in a lie. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's still
But
shady
again,
dealings.
well, yeah, and I think too you have this huge contrast with how King Charles is handling his diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
This man is doing the videos where he's reading his get well cards. He's like released little things. He's had a certain meetings with different government leaders and little things like that. A lot of, again, sign of life stuff, and giving updates and being a little bit more open by saying like, I have a prostate issue, to saying I have cancer, even though he won't give which particular one. It's such a contrast to what KP is doing, which I also think is added to people everyday people suddenly being interested in this. Was like, well, if Charles is also, you know, sick on medical leave just like she is, why can he do this and she not do this? And I still stand by the fact that Kate hasn't done any sign of life stuff is because, one, she just doesn't fucking want to because she just had surgery and she's recovering, and she said, I'm gonna act like it, which I respect it, but two, I don't think she quite looks like herself and doesn't feel like or can be made up enough to look like her old self.
Right.
You know, and I don't know, from some of the reactions to the paparazzi photo where I just feel like, wow, it just looks, you know, it looks like Kate. I can see why I would be hesitant to go outside too, because people have such a weird reaction to Kate when she does not look a certain type of way.
Yep.
But she's refusing to do that kind of stuff. And again, too, which I also think kind of points to maybe how not pre-planned this all was. It would be smart to like release unseen stuff, or to have made sure you had enough footage or photographs of you to be able to release over this time you were going to be gone. But it's like none of that is in place. There's no updates on any of Kate's projects or anything she may have been doing behind the scenes or was planning to do. You know, I just like, it just feels like just gone. And I can see why if you don't follow them at all, and frankly you just love a viral moment and a topic you can get into and it's kind of mindless, you know what I mean, or you love true crime and conspiracies where you can just hop onto this and not note any of those things.
For sure. And what you said about like she just doesn't want to like play the game right now, basically, I think is a big part of that too, why everything has just like stopped. But it is so interesting that that's the approach that William is being allowed to take, like that there's no making up for it on the back end. Because that contrast between William and Charles and Kate and Charles, like I think it really just speaks to how comfortable Will and Kate got and how Kensington Palace got when Harry and Meghan were taking all of the heat. And when it was their privacy, that was the focal point. There was a cushion of privacy around Will and Kate for a long time when Harry and Meghan were in the royal family officially. And I think they got used to that and assumed it would always be respected. But like the royal road is one thing, but the wider world like is another entirely
thing.
Yeah.
Which they've seen quite a bit, because I mean, I feel like the last time we saw this type of privacy around them was the Rose rumors. You know, but the British press just shut down any type of speculation and refused to get into it. And in 2018, you had Meghan and Harry on the rise. In 2024, though, they don't have direct access to Meghan and Harry. So it is really shocking. And I think that was makes it shocking for me. I know why they're getting this type of privacy. They threw Harry and Meghan under the bus. This is why they get to do this now, which is why I can't totally respect Kate's game here, because you still had to throw a woman who at one point was suicidal and told that she couldn't get help because they couldn't keep it from the media. And now we have you, and
the
everything's
media
being kept from the
got
media.
all these
It's
leaks.
just
Yeah, like
Exactly.
the media was getting leak after leak after leak when it was Harry and Meghan's privacy being invaded, but now that it's Will and Kate's, no leaks. Weird.
It's nothing. It's
Wonder
just
why.
nothing. And exactly. And I like you see all of this going on, but yeah, I just wonder how what they're supposed to be getting in return, which I guess
Mm,
again, maybe the only thing I could think of is what a big deal is going to be when Kate does go outside for the first time. I'm sure they're going
yeah.
to see a lot of clicks about it, and they're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
the photos are going to be going for a lot of money of her and so on. But I don't know. I keep honestly just waiting for a Sussex story to drop. Because my
Mm.
only thing is I can think is someone's gonna pull something out of their ass from something that happened 3 years ago.
Oh, it's funny you should mention that. I just saw, I didn't read it. Somebody put it in our group chat. A woman who claims she was in Las Vegas with Harry back when those pictures of him were taken says she's
Oh
going to put him
gosh.
on OnlyFans. She says she's going to release like nude photos of Prince Harry, which like is so illegal. Don't do that. But
Yeah,
she's
no.
but it's getting picked up in some of the tabloids because look over here, it makes Harry look bad, you know?
Yeah, and I always still think the Vegas thing has kind of been blown out of proportion. Like, wow,
Yeah.
Harry was young and got drunk and hooked up with some girls and played strip poker. Like, are we really like is it really that shocking? Like, is it
Yep.
really that shocking? I always thought Vegas something way worse happened. And then I found out that's all it was. And I was like, well, that was a lot of nothing.
Mhm. Yeah. Sorry, just another update came through that William's going to take another week off.
When?
This
What?
next week, he's not doing any engagements this week.
Y'all know my feelings.
What was your favorite Kate meme out of all of them?
Ooh. I will admit I'm personally pro BBL ones. I find them
Well, even with
absolutely
the car
freaking
pictures, people were
hilarious.
like, this doesn't disprove the BBL theory because she's sitting down.
That was like one of the top comments I saw. So all this tells me is we're still waiting on the BBL comment.
Oh my God. No, so funny. And this is okay, I have to rant a little bit about the conspiracy theorists just because I'm getting to the point where I don't know what else I can say. And like, I was talking to Meredith about this, and I was literally just like, some children got left behind, Meredith. That's the only explanation I have for why we can't just believe the most logical explanation is the true one here. Like,
Yes.
no, I don't think Kate Middleton, who is famed for being an English rose and a size 00, got a BBL. Like, but I shouldn't have to say that.
Exactly. Like, can we just like laugh and just be fucking sensible for 5 seconds and laugh at something and
Mm,
like not be that deep? You know?
yeah,
I
I
feel
don't
someone
know.
like this is probably so offensive to her. And I'm like, I don't know. Like personally, if I was bedridden and I was on the internet and I saw they were joking about me getting a BBL and photoshopping me look thick, I'd be laughing my ass off. Like, and the best medicine is laughter. So I'm just like,
Well, maybe not
and
if you've had abdominal surgery.
that's true.
But
And I'm like, at the end of the day, some some kid who's overworked and underpaid is the one reading these tweets and then having to shakily like hand over the report to William and his team and
yeah,
brave his a rage. Okay, like it's
yeah.
okay.
But I do hope Kate's not the one reading them personally because that's a lot. And I also like
Oh
I
God,
hope
no.
that the palace is smart enough to restructure her coming back into public now because if they were planning for it to be
Yeah,
one big appearance, that's not going to work. That's too much pressure, especially if she is having as rough a recovery as like
yeah,
a
way
three
too much
month time
pressure.
period. Right. So I hope for her sake she can do another little sneaky like photo op, take the kids out to get some ice cream again, like make it
Yeah,
tiptoe back in, make it low pressure because like we you know, we can talk about the double standard and the fact that you reap what you sow all you want, but like these are still people and
yeah.
I'm not a person who thinks that I should sink to that level like when someone's wronged me to like deal
Hmm.
it back to them. That's not what we're doing. And so you guys can have your
Yeah,
opinions on that.
too.
But
I know, and it's also like I think people forget it's not like ours to want to read back to them. Like that
right, so
is
many
Meghan
people,
and Harry's issue,
well,
and
yeah.
they seem to have reportedly sent, their well wishes to
Their well
Kate and
wishes.
so on. It's just like it's not like personally your beef, like at that
Well, and that's
extreme
what
level. You
so
know
many
what I
people
mean? That
are
you're like,
so many people are saying, well, it's karma if we're making fun of them now. It's like, that's not how karma works. Karma is not you launching it back,
mm,
taking it upon yourself. Karma is the universe. And that can have a
yes,
really long
exactly.
timetable. Like, we're not on a 24-hour turnaround time here.
Yeah, like the family's going through it right now. They
Yeah.
some spirit is saying something.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's always really interesting and usually fun when royal watching goes mainstream for a little bit.
Did you
And
get texts from people in your
oh
real life
yes,
about it? Yeah.
especially my mom, like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Mom, hello, you're not gonna Diana her." And they
Yeah.
didn't Diana, so stop.
Right. I had my regular people that I'm friends with, like, did Kate Middleton die or something? But there was this one guy I used to work with who texted me. He said, "What is a Kate Middleton?" And I said, I don't know how to
What
answer that
is a
question right
Kate
now.
Middleton?
He's just like, I know this has something to do with what you
Exactly.
do on TikTok. I don't know. But
Yes, exactly. It was fun being like the know-it-all for 24
yeah.
hours of people's random Kate Middleton questions. So, is she okay? Is she
Yes.
really at the Willy Wonka experiment?
God.
The good stuff, guys, the good stuff.
Yeah. Hashtag where is Kate?
Okay.
Just a moment to pause and process. That's what I needed.
I know. Exactly. We just needed to dump it all out in the crazy things, DMs and texts that we have been getting. Again, the amount of people I've had to convince and remind again this week that the palace did not kill Diana,
Yeah.
again, says a lot about the trust in the royal family and how they treat
Hmm.
the royal woman. Something I'm sure they will not be working on anytime soon. But
Kensington
hey,
Palace, we're available. We'll be your
you need our
freelance
help.
PR
Which
team.
actually, real quick, I didn't mention this. There was an interview with the social media. It looks like manager or worker
Yes.
for Ryanair. Ryanair is an
Yes.
airline, and they have a Twitter. And in 2022, I think it was, there was that
Yeah.
rumor that went around that William liked to get pegged, and it went viral and everyone wrote about it, like mainstream media once again. Like, imagine what happened
Yeah.
with Kate last week, but it's William and pegging 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
You
And
had to be there.
Ryanair, yeah, you had to be there. Made this super viral tweet. Again, I'm going to say this now. You had to be there, but it's pretty much the armrest kind of cocked up, and it says, "What did it say?"
William, we saved you a seat.
William, we saved you a seat. And the guy who made the tweet is talking to the
Yeah.
interview about it. And he said they posted, it goes super mega total viral. He's outside
But
after work playing with his
they
dog.
covered their asses for like liability too. They went through it with a
Yeah,
fine
he
tooth
goes
comb. They knew
over
what they were doing.
extensively. Yes, extensively how they had to go over a fine tooth comb legally before they could post this tweet. What I just think is so, so interesting about all of this.
Yeah.
All to say that he ends up getting a call from his pretty much management saying Kensington Palace, and he specifies that it was Kensington Palace called and said that we need
Yeah.
to take the tweet down or we have to publicly apologize.
I think
So
they should have
they,
lent in. They should
I
have lent in and publicly apologized very formally. Prince William, we did not mean to imply that you enjoy getting pegged. We're very
pegged.
sorry.
Exactly.
If this
Like,
caused you
road
emotional
out the
distress.
trolling. You
Yeah, yeah,
roll
yeah.
it out.
Put it in the
Unfortunately,
historical
they did
record.
not, though. Yeah, exactly. They deleted it. But it again, like he said, like for them, like it did what it needed to do. It was
Yep.
mega viral, retweeted, screenshotted the whole thing. So they deleted it. But it was further proof
Yeah.
that the royal family does pay attention to these petty stories and that they can. I think the biggest proof for me here is that they can reach out and say delete it.
They acted for
That
4 years. They acted
ooh,
for 4 years like they couldn't even delete mean comments about Meghan Markle on their own posts. And now you're telling me
yes,
they can call PR teams for other companies and get them to delete tweets? Are you kidding me?
that's
Get out
crazy.
of
I'm
here.
like, it just
Get
continues
out
to
of
further
here.
prove Meghan and Harry right, and that they truly could have gone way farther into it if they wanted to. Because again, like you said, you won't delete comments on Instagram, but you will call up another social media's PR team and say, delete the tweet about pegging. But you don't
Yeah.
deal with petty gossip stories. Okay.
Got it.
So
And Kate never
again,
got hair extensions. Got it.
okay, right? She's gonna come out with such a beautiful new weave. It's gonna be so beautiful.
Her hair's gonna look so
That
good.
I'm excited for. Like, I am excited for like that
The
beautiful
new hairstyle.
weave
It's gonna be a new
weave.
hairdo because she hated
Yes,
those bangs. I thought
and
about
she
doing a
grew
whole
them
video.
out.
I thought about doing a video responding to the bangs rumor and being like, this is the one that is 100% true, because you bet if 3 months can go by and she's not seen, she is growing out those bangs. She wore those bangs
She
the way they were
loved
supposed to be
them.
worn for 2 days, like 2
I know
appearances, and then
Natasha
all of
was
a sudden,
shaking when
yeah.
she had to put in those bad extensions to try to cover them up. That just kind of gave Farrah Fawcett, but like not Farrah Fawcett, but like the mom from the 70s who kind of wants to have a Farrah Fawcett moment because she wants to feel hot and cool. But anyways, that was
Mm-hmm.
Kate in 2020.
So we're gonna get a new Kate hairstyle. That's something to look
Okay.
forward
And we
to.
can
It's the
all sleep better at night knowing it won't have bangs.
So the things I'm looking forward to: Beyonce album, Kate's new hair, the Taylor Swift album. Those are the 3 things
Yeah.
on the horizon for the next month and a half.
Me, Beyonce's album, Kate's bangs, and Summer House, the new season.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah, I'm
Oh my god.
excited. But pinkies up, gals. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was fun. We'll be
Yeah.
back in a couple of weeks to talk some more shit.
No, that's not what we're doing.
We are here to give you facts with a
Yes.
lot of our thoughts too. We'll
Yes.
see you next
Commentary.
week. Pinkies up.
Pinky up.